Hello and welcome back to the Calorie Deficit University podcast. My name is Alexis. I am the show's host, and today we are going to be talking about one of the most underrated aspects, principles, building blocks, foundations of nutrition. Okay, and I would go so far to say as hunger management, and that, my friends, is fiber. We see a lot of people on the internet talking about protein and the importance of protein. And while, yes, I will always be a protein stan, I don't see enough people talking about the magic, the importance, the brilliance of fiber. All right? So, fiber is probably very boring of a topic to talk about, but very important and is usually a key missed aspect of your overall nutrition to consider. So it is probably, for example, the missing link between your nutrition management and whether or not you feel like it's working for you. Most people do not get enough fiber at all. And this is just not even like just in America. Most people just don't eat enough fiber globally in general. So what is fiber? Fiber is a type of carbohydrate. Yeah, it's a carb. Are you shocked? No, but Alexis, I thought that carbs, well, I've been told that carbs are bad. Like, I've been told that carbs are like not satiating at all. Yeah, fiber is a type of carb. And it's a carb that is predominantly found in plant-based foods that the body does not digest or absorb. Okay, but why would something that I literally can't digest or absorb be important for my overall nutrition? We're going to get into that. First off, I cannot stress the importance and the benefits of fiber enough. I'm just going to run through the top 6, okay? There's probably 6,000 reasons why you need to really prioritize fiber in your diet. I'm just going to name my top 6, okay? Or the top 6 that I can hopefully convince you over to the fiber side of it all. Number 1 is that it prevents constipation, which you'd be like, yeah, duh, like that's what fiber does. We know that. No. You don't understand. If you are chronically constipated, you are putting yourself at risk for disease, severe disease. Okay. So preventing chronic constipation helps reduce your colon cancer risk, which is on the rise, especially in young people. And overall, it just promotes healthy bowel movements, digestion, and that can help prevent chronic hemorrhoids, diverticulitis, and even symptoms associated with IBS. You don't want any of those things. Those are all really key indicators that you have been under fueling your body. You have not had necessary and appropriate nutrition that's needed for you to have a good quality of life, a healthy life. And you need to correct those things by increasing your fiber intake, focusing on nutrient-dense food, and eating probiotic food. So fermented food, or supplementing with like a pill probiotic if you don't eat yogurt or anything like that. So are we off to a good start? I think I'm hopefully convincing you. Okay. The second thing is that it helps with heart health, which cardiovascular issues, cardiovascular disease in general, is one of the leading causes of death in America. So we've got a problem with heart disease. We really need to address it. But what fiber can do for you is it helps lower cholesterol by reducing blood pressure. And just when you have lower cholesterol, or healthy ranges of cholesterol and healthy ranges of your blood pressure, you are dramatically decreasing your risk of heart disease. So especially if you are already genetically predisposed to heart disease, you really need to be eating fiber every day and not missing a day. And I'm not talking about supplementation of fiber, which we're going to get into that. But a lot of people think when I say you need to be eating fiber, they're like, oh, I'm going to go get the fiber supplements. I'm going to take the fiber pills. I'm going to do the fiber bars. No, that's great to supplement. That cannot be the predominant, primary, main way that you consume fiber, because you also need all of the micronutrients associated with the fiber-rich foods. You're not going to pill your way out of this problem, okay? There are no like tricks or solutions to not eat your fruits and vegetables. Sorry, it just is what it is. I don't make science. Science is science. So number 3 is it helps manage your blood sugar levels. And the way that it does this is it slows down your sugar absorption in your digestion, and it reduces your risk for type 2 diabetes, which we know is a chronic problem, a rising problem in America as it is associated with obesity. So if you are already overweight, you are putting yourself at a increased risk, not only for type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease. All of these things are highly expensive medical issues to try and solve, and they put you at risk for cancer, and overall just being a metabolically unhealthy individual. Number 4 is it aids in weight management. Yay! Yippee! That's what we want, right? We want to have our weight managed and not feel crazy all the time that we're starving or we're so full. We want to just kind of have a good like baseline, a mellowness to our life. We don't want to be constantly looking for food or just literally cannot even look at food all the time. And fiber helps with this. Many of the high fiber foods are also very low in calories. So if you have a high fiber diet, that can also promote a lower calorie diet, which we all need to adopt. The average caloric consumption for an adult American is around 3,800 calories a day. There are probably very few people in this world on planet Earth who need 3,800 calories a day to maintain a healthy weight. Like that is the top 1 percentile of individuals of caloric consumption. That is someone who is like literally so active or so tall that they need that amount of calories to exist. That's just not this time frame for how sedentary we are. It's not going to be you. Do you wish it was? Because food's fucking expensive. I do not wish that every single day in order to maintain my healthy body fat that I would need to eat 3,800 calories. That sounds time consuming. That sounds exhausting. That sounds expensive. And honestly, I'm very glad that my maintenance calories are around 2,400 because whoa, that is a lot of fucking food. Number 5, fiber supports a overall healthy gut. Which I know that a lot of people talk about, healthy gut in a bro sciencey way. No, this is not bro science. This is backed by years and years of clinical peer-reviewed research. Because what happens is the bacteria that is in your gut, it eats whatever you eat. And then it let me really simplify it. The gut farts, the bacteria in your gut, it farts. And that fart, what it releases, is really important to maintaining a healthy gut microbiome environment. So if you are constantly eating high sugar things and no fiber, no nutrient density in your food, you're going to experience things like extreme bloating, gas, discomfort, IBS, and put yourself at risk for colon cancer and things like that. Over time, it erodes and kind of irritates our gut lining, which is very strong, thank God, because we have stomach acid. But if you erode that over time, you become sensitive. That's where we don't have a lot of research on these things, but people theorize like leaky gut and lack of good absorption of nutrients. Maybe you try and change your diet. You try to eat fruits and vegetables. Guess what? If you have high amounts of unhealthy gut bacteria, which is associated to ultra-processed food consumption, you are not going to have the same nutrient absorption as somebody who has not had a high ultra-processed food as a part of their diet. It's just, these things to me, like when I say them out loud, it's like, oh yeah, that kind of makes sense. And that's how science is supposed to be. It's supposed to make sense. It's not supposed to be so out of touch and out of reach and complicated for us to understand. Again, I've said this before, I don't want to demonize ultra-processed foods because they are a science invention miracle to help with access to calorie consumption. so that we don't die from starvation and under fueling, so lack of nutrients in our diet. But they also have now modernized a new problem of obesity and all of the comorbidities with that. So you need, if you care about, like, if you are constipated all the time, if you're not having regular bowel movements, if you need supplements to have bowel movements, you probably need to eat more fiber and change the nutrients that you're eating in your diet to make sure that you're actually getting fruits, vegetables, lean protein, healthy dietary fats in. And knowing that it will take time to correct that gut environment. Okay? The last one, number 6, is that, and this one's a big one. This one is probably my number one reason of eating daily fiber. Living a long time. We know there are these things called blue zones. And again, this is like theorized information, data collection, which is cool, like thought pieces. But it does. Correlative doesn't always mean something. But if we look at places around the earth where people live on average a longer time than other parts of the world, a key indicator for people who live a long life, but also a healthy life, have high dietary daily intakes of fiber. That's it. And they have lower rates of obesity and all of the other amazing health metrics. So if you want to have like longevity, if you want to live a long time and have a healthy life, a happy life, the best thing that you can do for yourself is tracking your fiber and making sure you're getting enough nutrient-dense, fiber-rich foods in your diet. Okay, and variety is also very important, which we're going to talk about fiber variety later in the episode. So what are some good sources of fiber? Okay, great. Now I have protein on my radar. Amazing. Like I'm eating my fucking chicken and my eggs. Like eggs are $1 million and like I'm eating my tuna. Great. Now I have to fiber on my radar. Fiber is much more accessible and cheaper than protein. Thank all of the consumer gods. Okay. So some good sources, simple sources of fiber would be oats, beans, lentils, apples, citrus fruit, carrots, barley. Those are all examples of soluble fiber. I'm going to talk about what the differences between soluble and insoluble fiber are very quickly here next. Insoluble fiber examples would be whole grains, nuts, seeds, potatoes, and other vegetables like cauliflower, green beans, artichokes. All of those things should be a part of your diet in variety and frequency. Okay, I don't want to see one fruit a day. Don't want to see that. I need to see multiples and varieties. I want to see berries in there too. Berries are also very high in fiber. I want to see lots of types of whole grains. I want to see potatoes. I want to see more than one vegetable a day. I want to see a big serving of vegetable if you're only eating vegetables once a day. The average American does not even get close to the daily recommended amount of fiber, okay? Why? Because we don't eat a lot of fruits and vegetables here. We just don't. It's not like a part of the cultural norm to have a fruit and vegetable rich diet, a produce rich diet. It's just not. So what are the differences between soluble fiber and insoluble fiber? Very simple, no need to overcomplicate, but you do need a combination of the two different types of fiber to have the most health benefits. So soluble fiber dissolves. So if you were to take like a scoop of soluble fiber, it would dissolve in water and it forms like a gel. And it is fermented by bacteria in your colon, which produces a short chain fatty acid and gases. So remember how I said like your bacteria in your gut farts? Yeah, like there was the scientific sentence, the fermentation by the bacteria in the colon producing a short chain fatty acid with gases. Your bacteria farts just like you do. If you want your farts to be beautiful and wonderful and not dank and clear out a room, you need to eat some fiber. But you're going to be a little bit more gassy if you do eat fiber and you've never had fiber to begin with. But it's a metaphor, it's an analogy or whatever the fuck. It's not that serious. Just trying to get you to envision your gut microbiome, the little bacterias in your gut, to be saying, yum, 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 I'm eating fiber. Look at my beautiful farts, versus them eating sugar all the time and being like, oh my God, I'm so sick. Help. Oh, there's bloating, there's constipation, my IBS. Oh no. Okay. I'm trying to make science fun. Cool. Soluble fiber directly impacts cholesterol. So it can lower cholesterol. It also regulates blood sugar and overall just promotes a very healthy gut environment, which is great because we want a healthy gut to be able to maximize our digestion, our absorption. And I don't know about you, but my adulthood has really been defined by really nice regular bowel movements. If I don't have a nice daily bowel movement, I'm in a bad mood. And if that's not you, then you just probably haven't had a really good bowel movement schedule. And I'm sad for you. I'm sad that you're not experiencing the bowel movement schedule of a lifetime, because it will greatly impact your life. Like this is toxic, but this is what the girls want. And over 85% of my listener base are women. So here you go, women. If you want to feel skinny, if you want to feel like flat all the time, having a really healthy bowel movement routine is a part of it. And I'm going to tell you right now, those silly, stupid green drinks are not going to do it for you. If anything, green drinks, especially the ingredients that I've been seeing, like Bloom Nutrition, they're gut agitators. You're literally paying $40 a month. Some of them I've seen are $90 a month to agitate your gut. Or you're just paying for literally wheatgrass, which is hilarious because wheatgrass is so cheap and has not that much nutritional benefit. Sorry, that was a little side tangent. Insoluble fiber. So insoluble fiber, which kind of tracks, again, how, like I was trying to say, science makes sense. It's not supposed to be gatekeepy. It's not supposed to be complex. It's supposed to be like, aha, enlightening. Oh my gosh, yeah, duh. Soluble fiber dissolves. Insoluble does not dissolve in water. Okay? Soluble, insoluble. Dissolve, not dissolve. Makey sensey. Okay. What happens is it's insoluble, so it does not dissolve in water, which means in your gut, it remains intact. Okay. And what it does is it just passes through the digestive system. And you might be thinking, well, like, okay, then why would I need insoluble fiber at all? You need it. Okay. It adds bulk to your stool, to your poop, and it helps food pass through it. So it can help prevent constipation, again, supports healthy digestion, and really number one, most important, most important, which is why people are really struggling, is it reduces your risk of colon cancer. Okay, huge. If you are having really hard time passing movements, that is not good, and that needs to be addressed as quickly as possible. Okay, and it can take months to correct it. Yes, I said months. You can't just like eat fiber for a week and think that you're going to be like beautifully cured. No, you need to eat fiber every day for the rest of your life. That one's probably shocking. That there's not like a cure-all or a fix-all that you just take for a couple days and then you can do whatever the hell you want. No, that's not how nutrition management works, because you have to eat every day. It's kind of annoying, but also can kind of be like fun because you are taking care of yourself. Okay. So really, I cannot stress enough. Like, I feel like my podcast has become like the anti-cancer awareness podcast about like educating everyone about the dangers of alcohol, about the dangers of a low fiber diet, about the dangers of a low protein diet. And it's all about cancer. It's all about your correlative risk to disease. Because I want you to understand how serious it is, because it's not about just being a little bit skinny. Okay. Like I hee ha ha, like, yes, people, we are vain. We want to be thin. We want to be fit. We want to look hot. That's cool. You can't be hot if you're not here because you got cancer. So maybe put like vanity on the bottom of the list and let's focus on metabolic health as a number one preventative measure against cancer. Booyah. Okay. especially in this environment where it's just crazy. The rise of colorectal cancer has really freaked me out, if you can't tell, because I'm seeing too many young people go through some really bad times with it. So how much fiber should you even get in a day, Alexis? Like, you've convinced me. I need to care about my health. I want to be a skinny queen. I get it. Like, okay, I want to have regular bowel movements. I want a better quality of life. Cool. You've convinced me. Now just how much? Like, what should I be aiming for? So it really depends on, do you hate that? Do you hate nuance? It's coming your way. It really depends on your age and your size, okay, and your gender. So for men, around the average size that men are, so we're not talking about like the larger end or the smaller end. We're just talking about medium ranges, okay? 30 to 40 grams of fiber a day. That sounds like a lot. I know it does. That's the recommendation. And for women, being around 25 to 30 grams a day is probably where you need to be as well. Being in the middle of those ranges, so 35 grams a day for men, 25 grams a day for women would be booyah. Money, dollar bills, y'all, okay? And again, that's a daily consumption. Where we kind of start to get into the icky, not feeling so great danger zones is being above like 65 grams of fiber a day. I don't meet a lot of people who struggle with that unless they are consuming lots of fake fiber products. And that is a very specific word choice that I'm using. But I love a good like carb balance, carb counter, whatever the fuck, fiber bread, tortilla. I love those things. Those are great supplemental food choices to make when trying to hit a fiber goal. They're especially great supplemental food choices when maybe you're in a deficit, you're trying to lose some weight, and your calories are a bit tight and you can't eat as much beans as you usually eat. That's fine. That makes sense. But if I take a look at your food consumption and it is a carb balanced tortilla at breakfast, it's a fiber sandwich at bread at lunch, it's a what is that, like high fiber pasta at dinner, and that's how you're getting your fiber every day, and I don't see fruit, I don't see vegetables, and that's all I'm looking at, that's not gonna cut it. It's just not. Again, that indicates to me that you don't have a fundamental like acceptance of the fact that you're going to have to eat fruit and vegetables in order to lead a healthy lifestyle. Okay. And that is not an uncommon thing. I actually see that happen all the time. It's either no fiber at all, no fiber products at all, or it's like an obscene amount of fiber products to the point where probably that person actually is agitating their gut because of all the fiber products they are eating. Because when we look at things like a carb counter tortilla, it's got like some of them out there, some of like the low calorie bagels have like 37 grams of fiber. Whoa, that's crazy. That's like over your daily average amount in one sitting. If you don't have good digestion already, that's gonna just sit. And especially if you don't drink any water and you don't move your body at all, you're going to be constipated and you're not going to feel very good. So that's just something that I really want to challenge you on and consider, because it's something that I'm seeing, especially with the rise of fiber products. Okay. Anytime something says keto or like is a low calorie product, flip it over and look at the carb section to see the fiber. Okay. Because while yes, that is what's making it low calorie, because what they're doing is they're not counting in the calorie amount in the nutrition facts. They're not counting the insoluble fiber, because technically you're not absorbing those carbs, so those calories from the fiber. You need to be educated on that though. You can't just be like, oh, it's magic, it's not real. Like, they're not really there. It's not real calories. It's like, yeah, but it's 37 grams of fiber. Like, it's not just poof. And again, having a kind of educated mindset of like, there are no fairy tales and magic, and it's kind of like goes into media literacy as well. There's no fairy tales and magic. There's no way to get around a greens drink replacing your vegetables or reds drink replacing your fruit. That's tooth fairy Santa Claus bullshit. It's just not reality. And you're going to spend a shit ton of money for very little reward and probably an agitated gut. Sorry. I'm like really being myself these days. People are loving the authenticity. I will say, as a little break in the fun scientific messaging, I love it when you guys message me. I cannot stress enough that I am a regular ass person. I'm not one of those robotic, weird influencer grifter people. I'm just a girl. I'm just a gal trying to help people understand themselves inside and out. So when people message me and they're like, oh my God, like you saved my life, or you changed my life. I've lost this much weight and I'm so proud of myself and I'm so confident. Like, that's payday, or that's what I call payday. Like, I could care less about what my clients, are paying me. I live for payday. Okay. I live for the praise. I live for the confidence. I live for the smiles. I live for the excitement. And I love payday like that. That's the best. That's my best day ever, when someone messages me and is like, hey, this thing that you said, it really like shifted my mindset and now I believe in myself and like I'm healthier than ever, I'm happier than ever. Wow. That cannot be bought. That two strangers, usually across the globe, because a predominant part of my listener base is in Australia and the UK, two strangers would have a connection so deep that you would resonate with what I'm trying to say, and it would help you and impact your life in such a positive way. Booyah. That's payday, baby. Anyway, the average American only consumes about 15 grams or less of fiber a day. So most people aren't even reaching 50% of their overall necessary intake for health. What? Why? That's crazy. I'm annoyed. Why aren't we talking about it? Because fiber is not sexy and it's cheap. Fiber is cheap. Getting fiber supplements are so cheap. So what? You can't make money off of it. That's why. Okay? It's boring. It's not sexy, but those are the things that work. So if someone is trying to sell you something sexy or exciting, they're a grifter. Okay? And probably what they're selling doesn't fucking work. So something to, I wrote this down as like my show note. I already talked about it because I literally cannot stand it. Those fiber products. I love them. Like, I think that they're great supplemental avenues. Like if you're at, your 20 grams and you're like, damn, like I'm so full, like I can't get my next 10 grams or my last 5 grams, then yeah, like go for those fiber products, babe. Like that's fine. But they shouldn't be the be all end all basics of your nutrition management overall. Okay. So you have to eat your fruits and vegetables. So here's the thing. And I love a good wrap up. Okay. Really need to listen to me that you cannot supplement your fiber lifelong, without health complications. Okay. My personal belief is that the reason why we, humanity collective, struggle with obesity and disease associated with obesity is because of the magic duo, fiber and protein, which I did an episode about protein. If you haven't listened to that, you should go listen to that. I'll do more episodes about the other micro and macronutrient groups later. But these are the be all end all. They really are. They're the magic duo. And we are devoid of them in the average American diet. Again, like I said, the average American barely gets 15 grams of fiber a day and barely gets, the range is like 50 to 90 grams of protein a day, depending on the region. But yeah, we're just not even cutting it. And those are like the two foundational building blocks of nutrition. And that's why we're where we're at. Of course, we have some of the systemic issues like chronic stress and being overworked and underpaid, and we have socioeconomic issues with food accessibility and food deserts and things like that. But most people can afford to eat beans, rice, oats, and I would venture to say like frozen fruit, frozen vegetables. That's what I eat because I think they're fresher and they taste better and they're cheaper. And if it's something I have to eat every fucking day, I'm microwaving that shit. Okay? If I have to eat berries every day, removing barriers to entry for me is putting frozen berries in my oats and microwaving it. Okay? It's just as healthy. There's stigma around frozen food in marketing because they want you to buy the more expensive, fresher product. It's not fresher. Usually frozen food is frozen right then and there when it's picked, versus the other stuff sits on a car or sits on a whatever big truck for a week before it even gets to you. Okay? This is my belief, but also is a belief that is backed by peer-reviewed, evidence-based research. And solving these issues, like I said, is not sexy. Going into a school or going to stand on a stage in front of thousands of people and say, eat your fruits and vegetables. Do you know how quickly I'd literally get booed off of the stage? But something that is very interesting. I will give an example. Actually, before I jump to that ADHD thought, to finish my little note that I wrote here for all of you, is of course, like I said, the issues that we have with chronic obesity and comorbidities in America is compounded with the extreme devotion monetarily to ultra processed foods. The marketing, the chemical engineering, the desire to design food to be beautiful like a product is the baseline of the issue. Food is not a product. Food is a necessity to life. And the more you start to shift away, hate to say it, to being anti-capitalism, you start to understand that food is literally a basic need. Food is required. And the majority, for example, of people who are countries who are part of the UN literally voted that food is a basic human right. The United States voted that they do not think that food is a basic human right to existing on this shared earth. And so take that with what you will, but it is deeply applied in everything we do, in the same way that this country thinks that corporations are people. I want you to know that corporations are not people, and food is a basic human right because you need it to literally fucking live. Okay? And if you don't like that, I don't care. Literally, don't care. Because like I said, if you know me by now, if you've listened to me long enough, I get sassy, I get mellow, I'm all over the place, I'm authentic, but I genuinely base my opinions, or I try to base my opinions off of reality, science, research, and oftentimes that perspective that I hold challenges me, challenges my bias, challenges my belief, and makes me change my opinion a lot, because I find there's new research that comes out, there's better research that comes out, there's more enlightening facts or science or evidence that comes out that paints a clearer picture, or there are new nuances to be considered. And I would hope and encourage you that that's how you would also view your life, information, and your health. Being a malleable person, accepting change, accepting that you could be wrong, understanding that you will change over time. You should change over time. You should change your beliefs and your opinions a lot, and that's a good thing, leaves you at a better opportunity to believe truth, believe evidence, because you don't want to think that you're the sole knower of all things, because you aren't. That would be crazy. Also, that'd be so lonely and isolating and boring, honestly, to be right about everything all the time. When would you ever grow? Ew, staying the same? Corny. as the girls are saying, as the witches are saying, low vibrational. I think definitely boring. But the thought kind of divergent piece is during the Super Bowl, I thought this was really interesting. I'm interested deeply by social reactions and how people just like absorb information and what they see that maybe I don't see. Again, willing to learn new things and change. But there was a him, is it him and her or hims and hers commercial, which my husband actually has used products from them before. They're other like, I don't know, they have other issues that apparently they have like controversy, but their commercial was for GLP-1s, which, hello, like, why wouldn't they want to take part in that? They're a company and they want to make money, duh. Everyone on the internet is so interesting because the backlash was, oh my God, I can't believe that this commercial from this brand is pushing more meds as the solution to obesity and like pushing big pharma on us when like big food is the reason why we're here in the first place, and that like these corporations are the reason why we're here in the first place, and they're just trying to push more meds on us, push more products on us, and like, ew, that's annoying, like hate that. When it's so funny because I know for a fact, because I was born in the 90s, that if their commercial was, hey, maybe you should diet and exercise, everyone would be calling them fat phobic, because that's what happens with me. Anytime I suggest nutrition management or moving your body more, I get called fat phobic. And so I find it really interesting now that people are finding great success, great happiness, great health from the usage, appropriate usage of GLP-1s, that there's so much hate towards them. And it's very interesting because I see the hate coming from a lot of either mid-sized or already thin people, and I'm going to tell you, it's giving fat phobia again. Why are you so mad that people who've struggled with chronic obesity and disease related to that they finally have a medication that's helping them, and you're mad about it? Ooh, I don't know. It gave me the ick. Listen, and I've done episodes on GLP-1 application before. I have a very nuanced opinion on that, but at the end of the day, if there's a medicine that you want to take and it improves your quality of life, who the fuck am I? Like, oh well, like, I think that you should do what is right for you. Of course, with the application of the research that we do have and the appropriate usage and dosage of those medications. Okay? And I feel like that's such a like moderate take. Pretty like human take to be like, oh yeah, you experienced really positive outcomes from this. Who am I to tell you that that's wrong? Like, who am I to tell you that, like, I'm not the knower of all things. I'm not the judge. Now, again, do I have opinions? Do I think that people should just go on a GLP-1 if they've never tried like other avenues like nutrition management, tracking your food, maybe seeing a dietitian or getting a personal trainer, things like that? Yeah, I do think that you are still going to have to do those things whether or not you're on a GLP-1. But a GLP-1 does make it easier. It doesn't take away the hard parts of lifestyle changes, but it does make it easier when it comes to your interaction with food. And for a lot of people, it can be a life-saving medication because it quiets down that food noise so much so that they can make the choices that you seem to be able to make just so easily. And that's my big summary on it. So to wrap it up, what are the practical steps and applications of improving your fiber intake and nutrition management overall? Number one is taking it one little baby step at a time. So focusing on finding high fiber foods that you're like obsessed with, that you love, that like it doesn't matter, you'll never get sick of them, you'll always eat them. For a lot of people, this is fruit, because again, like you can get frozen fruit, always have it on hand. And then, like, okay, I have some raspberries, I can just throw that in if I'm low fiber. Or they're just more palatable than, say, like beans. If you've never had beans in your diet, eating beans all of a sudden might be a little bit harder for you. They have a different texture, bland in taste. You're going to have to cook them. So figuring out like baby steps, not trying to push the limit so hard on foods that you've really never interacted with before. Like you're setting yourself up for failure. Start with things that you know. Start with things that you like and then build from there. The second thing is please, just try to keep it at 1 fiber product a day. And don't go over that. That would be like my basic recommendation. And 2, do not go for that whatever the fuck Metamucil like bullshit. It's like 2 or 3 grams of fiber for a whole not fun drinking experience. Okay, that's not worth it. Just eat some berries. Like, no, remember that the more products, the more, commercialized capitalistic things you interact with, probably the worse they are, because they need a profit. They're trying to sell you a product for a specific reason. Again, media literacy, just literacy overall, being like, let me look at this. If this is saying like, oh, this is like your high fiber prebiotic, probiotic, magic miracle milk drink that smells a little bit funky but is totally normal and like $70 a month, that's a scam. That's a scam. And you don't have to eat that to be healthy. You can eat just plain old fruits and vegetables and be just fine. You don't need this new like supplemental product to hack your health. There's no health hacking. It's not a thing. There's just language made up by big food, by corporations to try and get you to buy their shit. Okay? Start light. Please, dear God, please. If this is the one thing you hear me in this podcast episode, if you are going from consuming 15 grams of fiber a day to consuming 35 grams of fiber, you're going to hurt. Slowly increase your fiber intake over time with your water intake so that you don't end up having extreme constipation and gas. Your digestion, your gut is going to have to adjust to the fiber intake over time. So please. A lot of people, they'll be like, well, I never ate fruits and vegetables before. And then when I started, my tummy hurt. Yeah, that will happen. And the last thing, the practical application is you really, like I said before, need to drink water. Please drink water. Please drink water. Please drink less carbonated things. Please just drink water. And tea counts, like hot tea, that counts. And then you really need to move your body. Seriously, like the twisting and flexing and moving of your stomach, walking is really important for overall healthy digestion. And of course, lean muscle mass, bone density, and being able to eat more. We love that. We love better metabolic health. Please move your body more, and do what you can and do it consistently and daily. Like I said, if you're doing something that's unsustainable and you're trying to do it for like a week and then you're like, ew, like that didn't work. That's not how health works. That's not how any inputs work really in life. Try saving money for a week and getting to your financial goal. It's not how that works. But that's it. That's the Fiber episode. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I will catch you in the next one.